I'm gonna love you.
Hey, welcome back everyone to Dan's Chess Lounge. Today is round one of the Tradewise Gibraltar Open. Today I'm going to be taking a look at the game that was played between FIDE Master Alan Tate and GM Hikaru Nakamura. Alan Tate is a two-time Scottish champion, and no need to mention all of the titles and all of the wins that Nakamura has. You know, he's an American sensation prodigy. He's just been blowing up the scene in chess for years now. So let's go ahead and dive into the game. Also, just want to say that Nakamura is also a three-time winner of the Gibraltar Open. So he's going for win number 4 here this year. And he has a real chance to do it. A lot of his competitors on his level is playing in the Tate steel, but you still have some great top level super GMs like MVL and Levon Aronian playing in Gibraltar. So it's not going to be a cakewalk for him. He's going to have some heavy competition. But today's game was against FIDE Master Alan Tate, as I said before. Let's go ahead and dive into the game and see what transpired over the board. Tate was white. He played knight f3, ready opening, g6, e4, d6. So Nakamura is just developing slowly, just wanting Tate to bring the fight to him at this point. d4, establishing a nice center. Knight f6, we have like a transposition to like a pierce defense. Knight f6 attacks the pawn on e4. So Tate plays bishop d3, protecting his pawn. Bishop g7, castles, castles. Rook e1, further support of the e pawn. And now you have knight c6 here from Naka. With the idea of playing e5 next. Then the knight is going to support that e5 push. And now d5. Tate played d5 here, kicking the knight, and Nakamura goes back to b8. Now, at first glance, you know, that move there seems like it's a beginner move, really, because first he moved the knight to c6, and now he moved the knight back to b8. But really what it is, black is saying to white, hey, is your pawn on d5 really in the best position? Or is it really on the best square there? Because now if you look at black's dark square bishop, it's got an open line now. It's on the open diagonal, the long diagonal, and it's pointing right into white's enemy territories. And then if you look at the e6 square and then the c6 square, black's going to use those with the pawn push to break up that center. So really the knight being rerouted is really like a idea, a battle of ideas, saying, hey, I'm gonna reroute my knight to a better position, and we'll see who's got the better position after that. So white continues with his plan, c4, e5. Now at this point here, the game takes a little bit of a turn to more like a King's Indian type of position. Black's going to start pushing on the king side, and white's going to start pushing on the queen side. Knight c3, h6 protects the g5 square, c5. White's continuing with his plan to push on the queen side. Knight e8. Naka's getting ready to start his big push. The intention is to play f5, which is the ultimate break move in like a King's Indian defense. b4, f5, knight d2, knight d7. And now Tate played c6. and which is an interesting move here. Usually in these type of positions, white plays C takes D, so he can open up the position a little bit and uh, stick a rook on C1, bring his minor pieces and major pieces further along on the queen side, and he attacks that way. But Tate played C6, which is a little bit of a questionable move here. Usually they play C takes D, C takes D, rook goes to B1, rook can go to B1, bishop can go to A3, queen goes to C2, and that's how play could have continued here. But Tate decided to go to C6 instead. B takes C, D takes C, knight D F6, rewriting the knight to a better square. Bishop C4, check. King goes to H8. And now Tate played the knight back to F3 here because he had a tactical idea that he wanted to exploit. He had something in his mind that he saw and he wanted to go forward. So he kind of abandoned the strategic position and started playing for tactics. Let me just go back one move here. A better continuation might have been to play F3 here. Could have been to play A2 to A4, continuing with the attack on the queen side. He could have rerouted his D2 knight to F1, then to E3. I mean, there's a number of different ideas that he could have played here, but instead he played his knight to F3, where he was already at before, with the idea of taking on E5 because that pawn is pinned, because the queen is undefended, if you notice. So Naka plays F takes E, and he goes in for his tactical move here. Knight takes E. And of course, Naka cannot take back because then he would lose his queen. So he plays King H7 because if you notice, also the threat was for the knight to play G6 here, and then that would fork the king and the rook. So he plays King H7, Knight F7. Now this is a very aggressive move. You know, at first glance, you would think that the knight is doing some major damage being this deep in the, behind enemy territory. But if you think about it, how is the knight going to get back? It's attacking the queen right now, but what else is it going to do after the queen moves? It doesn't really have any squares to retreat to. The queen moves out of danger. Now you have queen B3, which is reinforcing the protection of the knight, because if the queen didn't go there, Naka would have just played rook takes knight next. So the queen goes to B3 for added protection. But now you have D5, which is a great interference move that stops the protection of the knight. Knight takes D. And now you just have simply queen takes knight. So now Naka just picked up the knight there. And then Tate plays knight B6 with the idea of he thinks he's going to win his rook here in the corner, because the queen is being hit. It's a discovery on the queen. So, but he failed to realize that after Naka plays knight D5, then he's just in a world of hurt, because now you have the bishop hitting the undefended rook on A1. You have the pawns hitting the knight on B6, both pawns. And then you also have the most important move here, the most damaging move here, which is queen takes F2, check, followed up by checkmate. Queen takes rook on E1 will be checkmate. So, or either queen F1, then rook takes, then rook follows that up. But he didn't anticipate that, so he just resigned right here. He resigned here. But I don't know if this is too early though. I think he should have played on, because if he would have played on, he would have just been down a piece. It would have been bishop E3 covers the F2 square, right? So now you have the knight on B6. A takes knight, and then he takes the knight on D5. Tate will take the knight on D5. Attacking the queen gets out of the way, queen F5. And then from this point on, it's a game. And both players would have to come up with their ideas, but Nakamura is just up a piece here. He's up a knight here at this point. And yes, he's winning, but there's no immediate checkmate anywhere on the board. But Tate called it quits. He didn't want to play anymore. So Nakamura is off to a good start. 1-0. He has a good chance of retaining his title and winning another Gibraltar Open. Stay tuned for more games. I'll be covering more games daily. I'll be doing the game of the day. Okay, guys, I hope you liked the video. Don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. Until next time.